I'm Dung. I'm 30 years old, and I'm living alone in a rented house. But today, I have to tell you something that even I can hardly believe. I have officially been evicted from this house. Last night, there was a heavy rainstorm. The thunder and lightning were terrifying. I was stuck in the kitchen because I was cooking and couldn't go upstairs. I've never seen so much thunder and lightning lighting up the sky like that before. It was clearly 7 p.m., but the sky was as bright as daylight. I was absolutely terrified and just wanted to get upstairs to turn off all the electrical appliances. This morning, when I woke up, I discovered that the kitchen and the house were leaking badly again. Rainwater had flooded inside and soaked so many things. Outside in the yard, leaves were scattered everywhere. That it was truly a terrible storm. I contacted the landlord and asked them to come and inspect the house and make the necessary repairs. But instead of fixing the problem, they yelled at me. They said they weren't going to repair anything. If you can live here, then stay. If you can't, just get out. Honestly, I felt deeply insulted. I wasn't asking for anything unreasonable. I just wanted the house I rented to keep the rain and sun out, and to have a safe place to live. One rented this house for 1 year, paying more than $400. But as of today, I've only been living here for 1 month and 14 days. From the very first day I moved in, I've had so many problems with this house. It's not just the kitchen, many other areas of the house are leaking too. The house is damp, and mold has appeared in many places. Last night's rain was not the first time the house had leaked. And it wasn't the first time I had told the landlord about these problems either. But the landlord has remained indifferent and has done nothing to fix them. This is one corner of my rented house. The rainwater has repeatedly caused dampness and mold to develop here. Water and dirt are scattered all over the house. I'm honestly so exhausted. This has happened so many times, yet the house still hasn't been repaired. The rainwater didn't just leak in one place, it spread throughout the entire house. Rainwater was leaking through the roof of my bedroom. So I immediately had to rush in, and move my boxers away to prevent them from being damaged. Then, I had to use some old clothes that I no longer wear to soak up the rainwater on the floor. I was just trying to stop the water from spreading and protect the rest of my belongings. It's honestly heartbreaking to feel so helpless when I can't even have a dry, safe place to rest in my own bedroom. Because my house is close to the forest, a lot of ants sometimes appear inside, but I've never complained to the landlord about it. I've always dealt with the problem myself. I only asked the landlord for help with the things that, as a woman living alone, I simply couldn't fix by myself. I feel like I'm being bullied. I'm just a woman living alone. I don't have anyone behind me to protect me or help me. And maybe because I'm in such a vulnerable position, my problems simply don't seem to matter to them. I followed a suggestion from one of my viewers. They recommended mixing vinegar and baking soda together and spraying it on the ants. Apparently, it helps keep them from crawling onto your belongings. Using vinegar and baking soda on food is safe and won't harm your health. So I won't have to waste any food. I'm still trying to put up with everything and continue living here. Because I've already paid the rent, and I don't have much money to simply move somewhere else. But what makes me even more upset and frustrated is that they don't allow me to keep my pets here. They told me I had to keep my dogs locked in cages or tied up. They said that because the house doesn't have a gate, if I keep dogs here, they could run outside and possibly bite someone. I even offered to pay for a fence myself so that my dogs could have some freedom, but they wouldn't allow it, so I had no other choice. I understand that they have their own concerns, but what I can't understand is, why did I clearly tell them before renting the house that I had pets? I asked them beforehand, and they agreed. But only after I moved in and had already paid the rent, everything suddenly changed. They started objecting to me keeping my dogs here. For me, that was really difficult to accept. I felt like I was being bullied. I feel like my landlord is deliberately trying to deceive me. He seems to be doing everything he can to force me to leave this house. I keep asking myself, what have I done wrong as someone living alone? I've paid my rent in full. I just wanted a peaceful and safe place to live. So why do I have to go through all of this? I don't understand how they can bully someone who is already in such a vulnerable position. I feel angry, hurt, and humiliated. But more than anything, I feel completely helpless. The landlord really wants me to leave. If I continue living here, I'm sure he'll find a way to make it impossible for me to stay. So, the landlord and I agreed that I would move out and find somewhere else to live. Of course, I still have a rental contract, so the landlord can't simply kick me out immediately. I made it clear that I would only leave once I found another suitable place to rent. Actually, I'm not leaving because I think I've done anything wrong. I just hope I can find a new home where my dogs, my cat, and I can live peacefully without having to be afraid every day. If I insist on staying here, I know my life probably won't be peaceful anymore. I don't want to spend every day worrying about what the landlord might do to make things difficult for me. So, after everything that has happened, I think moving out is probably the best choice for me. When I move out, I will get a full refund for the remaining rent I've already paid. But what I regret the most are all the expenses I've already spent on this house. I had to pay for a moving truck to transport my belongings, and another vehicle to transport my dogs and cat. I also spent money installing an air conditioner, a washing machine, and many other things in the house. Now, I can't get most of that money back, and for me, it's not a small amount of money. Beyond the financial cost, I also put so much time and effort into organizing everything and building a life here. I've only been living here for almost a month and a half, and now I have to start all over again and move out. And what worries me even more is that when I move into a new house, I'll have to pay many of the same expenses all over again. Everything will have to start from zero all over again. For someone who doesn't have much money like me, this is a really heavy burden. But perhaps money can always be earned back eventually. What I need most right now is to find a stable place to live, a home where my little companions and I can live peacefully. I'm making sweet and sour pickled eggplants. Have you ever tried this dish before? If Korea is famous for its traditional kimchi, Vietnam has this delicious pickled eggplant dish. I learned how to make this dish from my mother. She's a really great cook. Cut the eggplants in half and soak them in a bowl of diluted salt water. I soak them for about 30 minutes to draw out the sap and bitterness from the eggplants. If you ever get the chance to visit Vietnam, you should definitely try this dish. This dish is often served with Vietnamese Malabar spinach soup, cooked with crab. You can often find this pickled eggplant dish at local Vietnamese rice restaurants or traditional clay pot rice restaurants. While I'm waiting for the eggplants to soak, I'll show you my rental contract. Last time I rented a house, I made the mistake of not having a rental contract. So this time, I made sure to have a proper written contract. The rental contract is for 1 year, and the rent is 10 million Vietnamese dong, which is equivalent to a little over $400. The contract was signed on June 11, 2026. My name and personal information are listed under the tenant section. The rental period is 1 year, and I officially moved into the house on July 1st, 2026. In the signature section, both the landlord and I signed the contract. The landlord also confirmed underneath the signature that they had received the full rent payment. The contract is valid and was made in 2 copies. I keep 1 copy, and the landlord keeps the other. The contract also clearly states that the landlord is responsible for carrying out regular repairs. If they fail to do so, they may be required to compensate for any damages. However, in reality, they have no intention of repairing the house for me. Because we have a clear rental contract, they don't have the right to evict me before the contract expires. But I have to leave for my own safety and the safety of my pets. However, I will only leave once I find a suitable new home. I don't know what kind of new home I'll be able to find. But I do know one thing. I don't want my dogs and cat to have to live chained up or locked in cages, just because I can't afford to find a better place. After soaking for 30 minutes, I'll put the eggplants into a jar. The pickling brine is made with 1 liter of filtered water, 0.4 tablespoons of salt, 1 tablespoon of sugar, and 1 tablespoon of vinegar. Boil the mixture, then let it cool completely. After that, add some thinly sliced garlic. The pickled eggplants will be ready to eat after about 2 days. After finishing the pickled eggplants, I went to a small local shrine with my elderly neighbor. I wanted to pray that I would be able to find a new rental home that would be a better fit for me. The shrine is very close to my house. On the 1st and 15th days of the lunar month, people often come here to pray. An old tree at the shrine had fallen, so some woodworkers came to cut it up and salvage the wood. I heard that this tree had been growing here for more than 30 years. When I arrived, there were already many people there. The woman in the purple shirt will pray on behalf of everyone, asking the village guardian deity for blessings.
Lạy Phật đến phẩm tâm thành đồng vân đồng xuyến con năm người về tâu vân đầu và biết của ông có xin cầu tài cầu lộc của Quảng Nam trong gia đạo ông đồng không bà công việc làm ăn muốn một số nạn không đâu không rồi lên năm mươi sân nó bảo quá đáng làm
The village guardian deity here is said to be very sacred and revered by the local people. As long as we sincerely pray and make our wishes with a sincere heart, the deity will surely help us. This couple came here to pray for a child. This is the food that was offered to the village guardian deity. After the ceremony, everyone will share and eat it together. Eating this food is seen as a way of receiving the blessings of the village guardian deity. The offerings include sticky rice, Vietnamese pork sausage, sweet soup, rice porridge, dried fish, pickled vegetables, and steamed buns. I had some sticky rice and Vietnamese pork sausage, so I won't need to eat dinner tonight.
Cháu vừa cho đi học xong, nay đang có tiếng ho phải mang thuốc thì cho cô giáo cho uống. Ăn chị anh cho. Còn nếu mẹ đi học một hôm thì thấy hôm đang chuẩn bị chuyển về.
By the time I got home from the shrine, it was already dark. I already had dinner at the shrine, so now I just need to feed my pets. Today, they're having chicken. And Gao hurt his leg when a tree branch fell on it. I checked his leg, and it isn't broken. It's just a soft tissue injury, so he's having a little trouble moving around. Watching them eat makes me feel guilty. I couldn't find a suitable home for them. I just hope I can find a new home where my dogs, my cat, and I can live peacefully without having to be afraid every day. If you're still watching my video, please wish me luck in finding a better rental home. I'll also do my best to find a new rental home as soon as possible.